Hello students, today we are going to discuss a famous poem, Do Something Brother by M. Gopal Krishna Adiga. M. Gopal Krishna Adiga was born in 1918 and he was a Kannada poet, scholar, novelist and essayist. Adiga was the harbinger of modernism into Kannada poetry. He was born in Mogeri, Kundapur, SK district, Karnataka. After passing his MA in English literature from Mysore University, he joined the teaching profession. He also worked as principal in Lal Bahadur College, Purna, Pragya College, Udupi. He worked as deputy director in National Book Trust, New Delhi. He also worked as an editor for some time and edited Sakshi, a literary magazine. Adiga authored a number of publications which include the collection of poetry Bhav Taranga, Bhumi Gita, Vardhaman, and Idana Baistrak. He wrote a novel, Anati, in 1954 and a book of critical essay, Maninna Vasene, in 1966. His Samagra Kavya, collected poems, was published in 1976. He is the pioneer of the modernist movement in Kannada poetry and led the Navya, new or modernist movement, which was inspired by the literary modernism of the European literary tradition. The Navya poets wrote about the disillusionment and angst of the time. The sophistication in the use of language and the importance of technique in poetry reached new heights in this genre. Adiga was innovative in this field. He also translated the work of the famous dramatists and poets like Ibsen and Walt Whitman into Kannada. He included the individualistic experiences, aspirations, and ideologies of the Indian middle class in his modernism. His writings reflect humanity. He received Karnataka Sahitya Akademi Award in 1973 and Sahitya Akademi Award in 1974. He was also conferred Kabir Samman by Madhya Pradesh government. Do Something Brother was written by Gopal Krishna Adiga, originally in Kannada. It has been translated into English by A.K. Ramanujan. This poem mocks people's tendency to prove themselves by continuously working without considering the consequences of their actions. For example, in the first stanza, the poet writes, "Pull out this leaf, nip this little leaf, crush that flower." In the second stanza, he writes, "Earth, water, the skies, they are all your geese with golden eggs. Gouge them out, slash them." The poet refers to the story of the goose with golden eggs, in which the goose is killed so that its golden eggs can be extracted all at once rather than once per day. The poet criticizes man's destructive desire to destroy the bounty of nature to prove himself. The poet writes satirically about people's desire to go forward when they encounter something that confuses them, such as winter mist, walls of fog. In these situations, the poet writes, No, this won't do. You're a simple man and that's your strength." The poet satirizes people's desire to go forward no matter what without reflection, acting compulsively and destroying the world around them to prove their own strength. At the end of the poem, the poet suggests that man's tendency to prove himself will end in destruction. As he writes, "Break down the atom, reach for the ultimate word within, find God's own arrow and aim straight at the heart of God's own embryo world." This is a reference to people's discovery of atomic weapons and the threat that humans now pose to their own world. Humans have become so intent on proving their power that they now might destroy themselves. Do Something Brother by M. Gopal Krishna Adiga is a satirical poem that points out man's violent tendencies in constantly having to do something without any thought of the consequences due to his actions. He compares man to Mother Earth. She gives constantly while man takes whatever he wants, needs, or feels like destroying. In this poem, Adiga shows that man's self-centeredness just might be the end of the world as we know it. The poet mocks the idea that many religions give us the idea that the world is here for man. The poem at the very end tells the reader, in other words, people should stop the violence and destruction and doing for doing's sake. Instead, think before acting in order to take care of Mother Earth. We are all in this together. Do something, brother. Keep doing something, anything. You must not be idle. Pull out this plant, nip this little leaf, crush that flower. There's grass, run your brand through it. Burn it like Lanka, tiny butterflies, parrots, sparrows. Chase them, catch them, pluck their wings, pull out their fur and feather. In the garden, jasmine and the banana gold grow for the wild elephant's feet. Here, Adiga has pointed out the opposition between thought and action. The speaker urges or incites men to some violent action: crush, to nip, to pull down, to break and burn, whatever comes hand. He asks his brother or companion to do something or anything. He must not be idle. His view is that movement is life, dullness is death. He burned the grass just as Lord Hanuman burnt Lanka. He asks him to catch hold of tiny butterflies, parrots, and sparrows, then pluck the wings, pull out their fur and feather. He further points out that the jasmine flowers and bananas grow in the garden to be crushed under wild elephants' feet. Hence, man should destroy these also by trampling on them. All over the walls, virility master switches, each for your fingers. Close your eyes and pull down 20 of them. Earth, water, the skies, they are all your geese with golden eggs. Gouge them out, slash them, do or die, they say. Disasters are the test for your genius, galloping dance. Something must crash every minute, brother. Act at once, do something. Thoughts, weights, and measures are all for the past, for the undying ghostly treasures of the dead. The speaker urges man to indulge in all kinds of destructive activities. Man is violent and life-threatening by nature. Man has a restless desire or longing to pull down everything. He wants to exploit the earth, water, and skies at one stroke, just as golden egg-laying goose was killed to get all the eggs at once rather than waiting for it to lay one egg a day. He has to bring about complete disaster at a fast speed. He has to do or die. Since there is no third option for him, he should not allow his thought to retard his action. Weights and measures belong to the past. What is needed is quick action. There is a forest, cut it clean for the stumps, slit it for your bunting. You have the axe, the sickle, the saw, and the knife. Go harvest all the world with a flourish of your hand, but you meet winter mist, wall of fog, walls that line, the space between face and face, and the road that sighs and breaks in two under your eyes. A couple of mountain peaks that rear their hoods and lower upon your head, or lighting wings from sirens that sing in every tree. Do they plunge you into anxieties and dilemmas of reason? No, this won't do. You are a simple man, and that's your strength. Horse sense and the blinkers are your forte. The speaker asks men to destroy the earth, water, and sky without loss of time. He should cut the forest and reduce the trees to stumps and bunting. After all, he has all the implements like the axe, the sickle, the saw, and the knife. He can do all this with a sweeping movement of his hand. He must not be afraid of the obstacles like mist, fog, twin peaks, and hidden dangers from sirens. He is not to be disheartened by all these barriers. After all, he has horse sense. He is a simple man. Eat what comes to hand, crush what you touch, cut the hindering vines. Mother Earth herself, though tired, lies open to the skies. There is still flesh on our bone. Come, brother, marrow for your hunger. Come, brother. Never forget that you are man. Then there is a well of life. Rope the wheel and the axle, pull out all the water, reach the last dryness of the rock, grope with the grappling iron. V for victory, brother, break down the atom, reach for the ultimate world within. He has to bring about all the destruction in spite of all the challenges. Man should act like a man, eat whatever comes handy, crush whatever he touches, and cut off the vines that comes into the way. He should exploit Mother Earth to the maximum. Although she is exhausted, yet she still has flesh on her bone and marrow inside the bone. He has extracted as much as possible from Mother Earth to satisfy his hunger. After all, he is a man and should act like a man. Speaker incites man to pull out all the water from the well of life with the rope, the wheel, and the axle. After all, for him, V stands for victory. He has to split the atom to gain energy hidden inside it. He should acquire God's arrow to destroy God's own creation. According to the poet, idle men are burdens on the land. He wants man or insights to do something to lighten the burden of Mother Earth. He declares that all this is right, natural, and necessary. Find God's own arrow and aim it straight at the hearts of God's own embryo world. Do something, anything, brother, idle man. Our burdens on the land. Do, brother, do something. Keep doing something all the time to lighten Mother Earth's load. This is right, this is natural, this is the one thing needful. The element of satire is strong and all pervasive in the poem. Mother Earth stands for women. She is life-giving while man is life-threatening. The speaker encourages man to indulge in various kinds of action and thus to bring about destruction to mankind. The repeated instruction to do something creates an effect of urgency in the poem. Thank you.